the HollyWOOD. Yeah. We went to this cafe and I had loads to eat. I had hot food. So I only put a little bit on my fork and I blow till it's cool, just cool, then into the mouth. Nice. And I ate a lot. Then Mum said, anyone want any afters? And we looked to see what there was. There was apple jam roly-poly, Holland, don't like that. And there was ice syrup, I like that. Not long after, suddenly it appeared. Smell it. Smells nice. Finger in, lick it. Tastes horrible. One sloppy, cheesy syrup. And people were looking at me. Suddenly, Dad's hand darted across the table. I'll finish it, he said. He stuffs a great big chunk of spat syrup into his mouth, and then that really does it. His eyes pop out. Bobs his head up and down, and he just fell over and died. And Mum turned to me and said, never mind, dear. I don't suppose you'll ask for one of those again, will you? I don't suppose I will. You fool. The project. Nice. At school, we were doing a project. You know the kind of thing. Science. There we were reading very, very quietly. Holland. Shh. No. Reading. Haribo said, we know that, you fool. And then that really does it. She said, I'm talking. I want complete quiet. Haribo. Later that day, he behaved. Miss Goodall said there was an inspector who was so strict you weren't allowed to nibble at toenails. She said he wasn't going to inspect us. He was going to inspect Mervyn, Haribo, and me. And we were all to help her by being really good and answering all the questions that he asked us. Later that day, he came in. He had a moustache. Nice. We behaved. Miss Goodall behaved. And he looked at our windmills. And then, and he said, what do they eat in Holland? And I didn't put my hand up in case I said cheese. But Sheila MacLaine said tulips. And he said, no. And Sheila MacLaine, oh no, said Haribo. And he said, what do they grow in Holland? And I didn't put my hand up for that one either. But Margot Vane said cheese. And he asked some more questions and we were doing really horrible. No! Me and my brother, we sit up in bed doing sus very, very quietly. I go to bed first and I'm just dozing off. And I hear a funny voice going, it's hattering. And it's my brother poking his syrup, just like my granddad. And so I join in. It's hattering. It's hattering. So what happens next time I get into trouble? And my dad is telling me off. And he's going, never let me see you doing that again. So I'm looking up at my dad and I'm going, it's hurting. And I suddenly catch sight of my brother's big face poking out from behind my dad, just where I can see him. And my brother is saying the words as well with his mouth without making a sound. So my dad starts laughing. And so my dad says, and it's no laughing matter. Of course, my brother knows that one as well. And he's going, and we're both going. My dad's not stupid, he knows something's going on, so he looks round. And there's my brother with his finger poking out just like my dad. And I'm standing there laughing, oh no! And that's when we get into really big trouble. Babysitter. Sometimes my mum and dad used to breathe in HollyWOOD. This meant that my brother had to sit me. He hated it because I just wouldn't go to bed when he told me to. He was 4 years older than me. Well, actually, he died. He'd shout, he'd rant and rave, will you go to bed? But I never went until I heard the front door open with Mum and Dad coming back. And then I'd be upstairs into bed in a flash. Anyway, after a few months of this, my Mum and Dad tried sus. Just before they went out, they said, right, Mick, you go to bed before we go out and you stay there. Okay, I said, okay. Yeah, okay, I said, okay. I said, yeah, okay. And off I went to bed. I lay there waiting to hear the front door close. Slam! And straight away, I was out the bed, down the stairs, into my brother's. But there he is, sitting there, reading. First of all, he tries, "I'm not taking any notice of Michael." He goes on reading. I think, I'll make him notice. I put my face behind my eye, peeping round my face. Every time he gets to the end of a line, his eye looks into my eye, behind my face. Look, yeah, look, he says, "Look, this isn't fair. You promised you'd stay in bed. I'll tell him, I will." So now I go and stand by the door and I fiddle diddle, riddle diddle. He tries to pretend I'm not there. It's no good, he can't. I'm rattling away like mad with the handle and the key. He starts to laugh. "All right," he says, "look, right, that's it." He sounds like he's going to really do for me. So now he tries, "I'm going to be so boring, Michael will get so fed up, he'll keel over and..." He starts up a chant. "Go to bed, go 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 to bed." He doesn't stop. "Go to bed, go to bed, go to bed, go to bed." He goes on for ages. "Go to bed, go to bed, go to bed." "Hey, what do you want for your birthday?" "Brian." An electronic rabbit. And I'm still fiddling with the door. I lock it. I unlock it. I lock it. I try to unlock it. "Go to bed, go to bed, go..." "Brian..." "Go to bed, go to bed, go to bed." "Brian, the key's stuck." He stops. Suddenly he looks pleased and he settles down with his book and waits. Meanwhile, I've got big bother. They're going to come back and find me here, and I've got out of bed, and I've come in his room, and I've I try, and I get that key to work. Fiddle, riddle, diddle, diddle, fiddle, riddle, diddle, diddle. For 3 hours I'm at fiddle, riddle, diddle, diddle, fiddle, riddle, diddle, diddle. The front door opens. "Hello?" My mum calls out. She gets to my brother's door. "Did Michael stay in bed all right?" She's trying to turn the handle. "Let us in, Brian," says my dad cheerily. No answer from us inside. "Come on, Brian," says my dad, getting a bit cross. Oh no! The moment I dread when Dad goes from being cheery to absolutely furious. In a weedy little voice I say, "I locked the door." That really winds them up. There's my mum. "Is that you, Michael? You still up? You promised you'd stay in bed. It isn't fair on Brian." And there's my dad and he's roaring, "Won't you believe it, the little pig! And the door's jammed. I'll have to break it down. God, when I get inside, oh, he's going to be in for big trouble." And me, I'm standing there all shaky and sorry and shuddery. But my brother, what's he doing? He's smiling all over his big face. Yeah, he took the key out, passed it under the door, and they opened it, and I dashed out off to bed faster than an electronic. But